If you had asked me a month ago how my marriage was doing, I would have told you it was fine. Not perfect, but solid enough.
8 years with Megan, and though life had settled into routine, I thought we were the kind of couple who could weather the lulls. We had a beautiful little girl, Mia, who was the center of both our worlds.
Or so I thought. The trouble started innocently enough. A promotional email for an all-inclusive resort popped up on my screen during a particularly grueling day at the office. Escape to paradise. Family-friendly rates. It seemed like exactly what we needed.
I booked it on impulse, imagining us sipping cocktails on the beach, reconnecting, and maybe even reigniting a spark.
Megan was thrilled when I told her.
"Oh my gosh, we need this so much," she said, practically glowing. I remember how tightly she hugged me that night, her eyes sparkling in a way I hadn't seen in months. We flew out a week later, Mia chattering excitedly the whole way. The resort was stunning, palm trees swaying, crystal clear water, staff who greeted us with warm smiles and fruity drinks. It really did feel like paradise. Our first couple of days were great.
Megan was more relaxed than I'd seen her in ages. We lounged by the pool, built sandcastles with Mia, laughed over dinner.
I'd catch her looking at me with this softness in her eyes that reminded me of when we were dating. But then something shifted. It started with little things.
Megan lingering too long at the front desk after asking about excursions.
Her phone lighting up with messages late at night when she thought I was asleep. She started wearing dresses I hadn't seen in years, low-cut, slinky numbers that made her look stunning, but also out of place at the family-oriented buffet dinners we'd planned.
I tried to brush it off. Maybe she just wanted to feel attractive. We all needed to feel desirable sometimes. And yet, my gut whispered otherwise.
Midway through the trip, Megan suggested I take Mia to the kids' club so she could have a spa afternoon.
No problem.
I took Mia for face painting and games, trying not to dwell on the nagging feeling in my chest.
When we got back to the room, Megan wasn't there. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand with a message preview I couldn't ignore. Room 305. Can't wait to see you again. E.
I stared at the screen, my stomach twisting.
E? Who the hell was E?
I paced the room, trying to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe a friend from home, maybe someone she bumped into here, harmless.
But the sinking feeling didn't go away.
I left Mia with the babysitting service and told them I'd be back soon. Then I made my way toward room 305, my heart hammering in my chest. The door was ajar. I heard low voices, laughter.
Megan's laugh.
Soft, breathless. I pushed the door open an inch further. There she was, my wife, wrapped in the arms of a man in a crisp white shirt with a name badge, Ethan, guest services manager.
They hadn't noticed me.
Megan was sitting on the bed, her legs draped over his lap, her fingers tracing lazy circles on his chest. Her dress straps had slipped down her shoulders. "I can't believe how good this feels," she murmured.
"I needed this."
"You're incredible," Ethan said, leaning in to kiss her. I staggered back, bile rising in my throat.
My head was swimming.
I turned and walked away, somehow managing not to make a sound.
Back in the room, I stared at the ceiling, numb. Megan came back an hour later, cheeks flushed, eyes bright.
"How was Mia's afternoon?" she asked, her voice overly cheerful. I played along, too stunned to confront her yet. That night, I held Mia close as she drifted off to sleep, my mind racing. Every late-night message, every spa visit, every long chat at the front desk, all of it made horrifying sense now.
And worst of all?
I had no idea how long it had been going on.
Was this just a vacation fling, or had our marriage been alive for months?
I knew one thing for sure, the woman lying beside me in that hotel bed wasn't the wife I thought I knew. And tomorrow, I would have to face the truth head-on. I barely slept that night. I kept glancing at Megan lying beside me, her breathing slow and even. How could she sleep so peacefully after what she'd done? My mind was a storm of questions, grief, and worse, self-doubt.
Was it me? Had I failed her somehow?
But every time I started down that road, I'd remember the way she'd looked in that room, wrapped around him.
No. This wasn't about me.
By morning, the numbness had morphed into a cold, hard clarity.
I needed answers. And I needed to protect Mia from whatever came next. I kept things normal at breakfast.
Megan was all smiles, chatting with Mia, acting like the loving mother and wife.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I might have believed her. I played along because I had to.
After Mia went off to a kids' art workshop, I asked Megan if we could take a walk along the beach.
Alone.
She seemed surprised but agreed. The sun was bright, the waves lapping at the shore as we walked. I waited until we were far from the crowds before I stopped.
Megan, I said, my voice steady. I know.
She blinked, her smile faltering.
Know what? Room 305. Ethan.
For a moment, the color drained from her face. She opened her mouth, closed it, then looked away.
How did you? It doesn't matter how, I cut in. What matters is that you've been lying to me. To Mia.
She sank onto the sand, head in her hands. I didn't mean for this to happen, she whispered.
Didn't mean for what? For cheating on your husband while your daughter's at a kids' club?
Tears welled in her eyes. It was supposed to be harmless.
Just attention.
I felt so invisible lately, Alex.
You work so much, you barely look at me anymore.
I felt like she'd slapped me.
So your solution was to sleep with someone else?
Her shoulders shook. It wasn't supposed to go that far. He was kind, he listened.
And here, in this place, it felt like I could be someone else. Just for a little while.
I stared at her, stunned.
You were already someone. You were my wife. Mia's mother. And you threw that away for a fling with the hotel manager?
She sobbed harder now, but the part of me that might have once comforted her was gone.
I was too raw. Too betrayed. Finally, I asked the question that had haunted me all night. Was this just here? Or has this been going on longer?
Megan wiped her face, voice shaking.
It started here. I swear. We met on the first day, he was friendly, and I don't know, I got swept up. It was stupid. It's the first time.
I wanted to believe her. But trust, that fragile thing, had shattered.
And no tearful promise could glue it back together.
I stood there for a long moment, staring at the horizon, feeling the last remnants of our marriage slipping through my fingers.
Finally, I spoke. I can't do this anymore, Megan.
Her head snapped up.
Alex, please.
No, I said firmly.
You made your choice. And now I have to make mine. When we get back, I'm filing for separation. But Mia.
I will always be her father, I said, voice cracking now. But I can't stay married to someone who'd betray us like this.
She broke down completely then, sobbing into her hands. I watched, numb. I wasn't angry anymore. Just hollow. We walked back in silence.
The rest of the trip was mechanical, me taking Mia to activities, Megan keeping her distance.
I didn't tell Mia anything yet. She was too young to understand.
The day we flew home, Megan tried one last time. On the plane, as Mia slept between us, she whispered, "I love you, Alex. I made a mistake, but I still love you." I looked at her, the woman I'd once adored. The woman who'd wrecked that love in a hotel room.
Maybe you do, I said quietly. But love isn't enough anymore.
When the plane touched down, it wasn't just a return home.
It was the start of a new life, one where I'd have to rebuild, for Mia's sake and for my own. I don't know what the future holds. The road ahead looks long and lonely. But one thing's certain, the man who left for that resort believing in his marriage, he didn't come back. And maybe, in time, that's okay.